A very good morning students. This is your English teacher Benu Sairawat, and once again I welcome you all to RKP online classes. So of course we'll be continuing with the same topic, that is conjunctions. We have already discussed a lot of things about conjunctions in our last two videos, right? But before proceeding further, I want to check if you remember a few things about conjunctions or not, or you have forgotten it, right? So you can see that I have written two sentences here, out of which one is incorrect, all right, and the other one is incomplete, all right. So please help me and find out the mistake in this first sentence. Of course it has to be something related to conjunction, or in a particular conjunction what should be the structure, all right. So they feared to spare him lest he should not report to the king. Now spare means to leave someone, okay. So they feared to spare him, they were afraid to leave him, to let him go. Why? Because they were afraid that he will straight away, he would go to the king and report against them, right? So can you figure it out? Of course the mistake, they feared to spare him lest he should not report to the king. Alright, I am hopeful that most of you must have figured it out, right? So, beta see, the conjunction lest, okay, whenever we use it, see, in this conjunction lest, not is already included in that. You're getting my point? Not is already included in the conjunction lest. So it means if we are using lest, we will not use the word not. Understood? So there are two important things when we use the conjunction lest. One, we always use should with it. We use should with it. And the second one is that we never use not after that, okay. Why? Because not is already included in it, okay. Now if we see they fear to spare him lest he should report to the king. What does it mean beta if we translate it in Hindi? कि वो कहीं किंग को जाकर रिपोर्ट ना कर दे, कहीं ऐसा ना कर दे. That is the meaning of lest, alright, and it is the conjunction of purpose, okay. Alright, let's move to the second one. It was pitch dark dash searching was useless. Now it was pitch dark. Pitch dark means completely dark, nothing was visible, absolutely dark. Dash searching was useless. Now if you see here beta, see this is the reason, alright, or not actually reason, but we can say the situation is this, that it was pitch dark, right? So because of this situation, what is the consequence? Dash searching was useless. So in this case, when something happened, okay, and because of that, or we can say it's resultantly something else happened, okay. So basically we are talking about its result, its consequence, Okay, so we have to use some kind of conjunction which is related to which we use in when there is a situation like this where there is a consequence, right? So in this case we can use therefore. Okay, therefore. Okay, so therefore basically means when because of this reason, okay, this happened. So therefore is the conjunction of consequence. Alright, so I hope things are, they are refreshed in your mind now, and we are all set to move further in the topic. Now first we will read these sentences, and after reading and understanding these sentences, we'll see and we'll find out which type of conjunctions these are. Alright, so let's have a look. He will punish you if you are late again. Alright, so if you see here beta, this is the conjunction that is joining these two clauses. Alright, and one more thing, see, this is called main clause, of course, and this is called if clause. We also know it as if clause or conditional clause. Alright, and there is it is not necessary that you will always use it here in the middle or after the main clause. No, this clause, this part of sentence can come in the beginning as well. Alright, so we can also write this sentence as if you are late again, he will punish you. But you have to take care of this thing beta. When we start the sentence with if clause, okay, if you are late again, then we'll always use comma, and after that we will write he will punish you. But if we are writing it as like this, first main clause and then if clause, there will be no comma before if. Okay, alright, so then he will punish you if you are late again. So when will he get punishment? Only if he is late again. Okay, so he will get punishment only in that situation, or okay, or we can say only in that condition when he is late again. Alright, so we get to know here that if, whenever we use if, there is a condition in the sentence. Okay, a condition. Now see the next one. He can't be pardoned unless he confesses his fault. So now beta, he can't be pardoned. Okay, now this is a situation. Okay, so he can't be pardoned unless he confesses his fault. Now beta, pardoned means forgiven. Alright, suppose somebody has committed a mistake, right, and then he comes and apologizes, right, but then we say okay, we pardon you. That means we forgive you. Alright, so I hope you have understood the meaning of pardon here. And confesses means confess is the verb here, and confess means to accept something, right? If you have committed a mistake and then you come and tell us, let's see, I am very sorry, but yes, I have done this and I know this is wrong. That means you are confessing it. You are accepting your fault. Okay, so that is confess, to confess something, to accept. Alright, so he can't be pardoned unless, beta, now unless is the conjunction. Okay, and unless means if not. Okay, if not, right? Unless he confesses his fault. So basically it means I cannot forgive him. If not, that means if he doesn't confess his fault, that yes, I have done this wrong, right? So unless not is already included in that. Unless means if plus not. Alright, so here also if we see, there is a condition, and he cannot be forgiven if he does not confess to it, I'm sorry, confess his fault, right beta? I agree to these terms provided or provided that. Okay, why I have used a slash here beta? Because these two are the conjunctions, alright, and they mean the same. Okay, so it's one and the same thing if we use provided or provided that. So they both are, they mean the same thing. So I agree to these terms provided or provided that you agree to mine. Alright, so basically it means if. Alright, only if, basically only if, right? So here also beta there is a condition. I say I agree to these terms means whatever you say I'll do it. Okay, but there is a condition, provided or provided that you agree to mine. If you also agree to my terms and conditions, only then I will agree to your terms and conditions. So in this kind of situation we can use provided or provided that. Alright, and beta if you see here, when there are more than one word in a conjunction, right, we call it a compound conjunction. Okay, we call it a compound conjunction, which is more than one word. Okay, like we discussed the same thing, provided that, right, and so that, and as well as. Okay, so all these are in order that, remember we did all these things in our last video, right? So these are called compound conjunctions in which we have more than one word. Alright beta, so yes, coming back to this these three sentences. Now if we see here, what are the conjunctions here? If, unless, and provided or and provided that. Okay, and in all three sentences we see that there is a condition which is present there in the sentence, right? Like something happens, something will happen only if this thing happens, or this condition is fulfilled, only then, right? So we see there is condition, right? So these are called conjunctions of conditions. Okay, we call them conjunctions of condition. They are used when we have a condition in the sentence. So I hope you have understood the conjunctions of condition. So students, now we'll read these sentences and we'll see which type of conjunctions are used in these three sentences. Alright, so first sentence is, although she felt sorry, I didn't see any change in her behavior. Alright. So although she felt sorry. Now beta, see, this is the conjunction here, although. Alright. And we use although when, suppose, like there is a situation, right? And in every situation, I mean, there is an expected reaction. Okay? Expected result. Right? So, if we talk about this particular sentence, although she felt sorry. Now, if somebody has committed a mistake, right? And he or she comes and apologizes for that, right? So, I mean, if he is saying sorry, he should never repeat it, right? I mean, if he is saying it, he should keep his words that yes, I will never repeat it. Yes, but what if somebody apologizes, but he is not a changed person even after that? It happens? Yes, sometimes. So, in such cases, for such people, we use although, okay, where there is contrast in the situation. Now, what is the meaning of contrast? Something opposite, right? So, in this case also, something opposite happened, right? Because she felt sorry, right? But the opposite thing is, the surprising thing is that there was no change in her behavior, right? So, in such cases, the situations in which there is a contrast, we use the conjunction although. Alright? Although. Right? Although she felt sorry, I didn't see any change in her behavior. Okay? Next is, the doorbell woke me up, though it wasn't very loud. Now, the doorbell woke me up. Beta, first of all, I want to tell you that though and although, they are quite similar in meaning. Alright? But yes, we can say this thing that although is more formal. Okay? Like though is quite casually used, like among friends, alright, or among family members, right? But when you are talking to official people, you should go for although rather than though, alright? So, but their meaning is quite similar. And yes, we use although in the beginning of the sentence. Alright. So, the doorbell woke me up. Now, see the situation here. The doorbell woke me up. I woke up due to something. Okay. Though it wasn't very loud. Now, if you see here, the doorbell was not very loud. Okay. It was, it wasn't very loud. It wasn't loud enough basically to wake somebody up, right? He should, he should not get up after hearing that sound, because it wasn't very loud. It wasn't too loud. But what is the contrast here? The doorbell woke me up, but still I got up. Okay, so this is the contrast here. The doorbell wasn't very loud, but still I got up because of that. Okay, so there is the contrast here. He was getting quite late. He was getting quite late. However, he decided to stay for a little longer. Now, a little longer means for some more time. Alright. So the sentence is he was getting quite late. Now see, if we are we are at a party, right, and we have to go back, and it will take around 2 hours to reach home, right, and it's already getting dark. So in that case, what should be the plan of action of ours? That we should leave immediately, right, to avoid unpleasant circumstances, right? But here the contrast happens. What? He decided to stay for a little longer, right? So basically when he was getting late, he should have left, right? But he did not leave and he stayed there for a little longer. So in such cases we use however when there is contrast in two sentences, in two situations. Alright. So these conjunctions like although, though, however, these are conjunctions of contrast. Alright. So contrast means opposite, right? Where something unexpected happens. I mean, people generally don't do those things when they are in that particular situations, and that is why they are called conjunctions of contrast. We are going to discuss conjunctions of comparison. Alright, so we all know whenever we make comparison, okay, there are more than one person, right? Because we are creating comparison between two persons or among maybe 3 or 10 persons. Alright, so how do we use conjunctions for making comparisons? Let's see how. He is as clever as I. Okay, now beta, first you need to understand here he is as clever as I am. This is implied, this is understood. Okay, it is understood, though it is not written here, but this is what it means, right? So he is as clever as I. Okay, so you see here the conjunction as. We have used the conjunction as to make comparison between he and I, right? So this is how we can make comparisons. All right, he loves me as much as you. Now again here what is implied? Do. As much as you do. So here what do we mean actually by this sentence? He loves me. Okay, he. I am talking to somebody and we are talking about a third person. Alright, so we are saying, I am saying he loves me as much as you. Alright, like I am just trying to convince him, okay, like the way you love me, he also loves me. Okay, so this is what it means. So here they are making comparison, right? Like you also love me and the same way. Alright, he also loves me. Now, and beta we use as when we are comparing, okay, comparing two persons or two things, and we are talking about some kind of similarity, right? We are talking about the similarity, right? Here also if you see as clever as I, that means we are saying both the persons are equally clever, right? And here he loves me as much as you do. So both of you, he and you both equally love me. Okay, so there is a similarity. Alright. Now next is, she likes me no less than you. Okay, now here this is the conjunction, and here beta what is already understood here, she likes me no less than you do. Okay, you do. Now see beta, here we are making comparison, that I am trying to convince somebody that yes, there is the girl, right, she is my new friend, right, and I am trying to convince my old friend, right, like don't worry, my new friend, she likes me no less than you. Alright, so I am trying to convince him that yes, you are my old friend, I know you are you take good care of me, but yes, she likes me no less than you do. She equally likes me as you do, right? Next is, he's taller than you, right? And R is the implied, understood helping verb here. He's taller than you, right? So here again we have used the conjunction than to to make comparison between him and two people, right? And we are comparing their height, right? Alright beta, so these are conjunctions of comparison, right? This is how we use them to make comparisons. I hope you have understood this, right? Very good. Now beta, one more thing, this is he is, right? Now I have a question for you. Can we pronounce it, this word, can we pronounce it like he is? Can we do that? No, we can't do that. That will be wrong. Okay? Why? See beta, when it is written like this, okay, we'll pronounce it like he's. And when it is written like this, we'll pronounce it as he is. We cannot read it. We must never read it as he is. Alright? Because see, there is a simple thing. This is called contraction. Okay? Contraction. Basically, this is, what is the base word here? Root word. That is contract. Contract means to shrink, to become smaller. So if you see here, this is a smaller form of he is. That is why such things are called contraction. We have many other contractions like won't. Alright. And this is called expanded form. Expanded form. Alright. And these are called contraction. So next time, this was an extra dose, right? A tip. Alright. So we should read a contraction as contraction only, right? We should never read them as expanded form. So I hope beta you have understood the conjunctions that we have discussed in this video. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. Thank you so much.